On October 8, Azerbaijani armed forces launched two intentional assaults on Holy Savior Cathedral in the town of Shushi, which is the recognizable cultural and religious symbol of Artsakh. People in the shelter of the cathedral became a target as well. The cultural house in Shushi, built in 2017, was another target of indiscriminate attacks. Now only the walls stand from the beautiful art center to show the continuous practice of Azerbaijan to destroy the Armenian cultural heritage of Artsakh. From September 27, Azerbaijan wages an aggressive war against the Republic of Artsakh, targeting and shelling civilian population and densely populated civilian areas. Villages, towns, and the capital Stepanakert have been intensively attacked, resulting in more than 30 deaths and hundreds of injured. Residential buildings, schools, other civilian infrastructure destroyed. Life and health of children, women, and the entire population of Artsakh are still under an imminent and real threat. It is terrorism and war crime committed by Azerbaijan.
The geography of all casualties, including injuries, is various, from south to the north of the country, from borderline towns and villages to the deepest towns and villages.
Azerbaijan conducted targeting attacks on civilian journalists engaged in covering the areas of armed conflict. Attacks resulted in 7 injuries and the death of the person accompanying the journalist's group. The Artsakh Republic already has 6,700 private immovable property totally damaged from the strikes. Houses, apartments, shops, etc. 640 private movable property was destroyed or seriously damaged. 1,110 infrastructure was damaged. Among those, there are electricity and telecommunication stations, gas and water pipelines, food storages, roads, bridges, factories, services, schools, kindergartens, cathedrals, cultural centers, etc. Since the launch of the large-scale aggression against Artsakh, Azerbaijan has been repeatedly using forbidden by international law cluster munitions in densely populated civilian areas as well.
In some cases in Hadrut, there are direct gun shootings to the civilian population, and we have already at least 4 civilians killed by this way.
During Azerbaijani aggression, approximately 90,000 citizens of the Republic of Artsakh have fled their homes to shelter at safer places. Some of them have moved to the other settlements of the country and others moved to the Republic of Armenia. The overwhelming majority of the current population has to leave its shelters to avoid Azerbaijani indiscriminate and targeted strikes, and nobody knows where and when is safe to stay.
That's why we have a very serious humanitarian crisis, even I would say humanitarian catastrophe, because we have very basic humanitarian needs at shelters, at basements, including heating, hot water, food, medicine, etc., etc. And also Azerbaijan has deliberately targeted with heavy missiles all vital infrastructure of the country, including capital city Stepanakert. And all of these activities and strikes are considered war crimes, and there are many proofs saying that those crimes are deliberate crimes.
There are multiple shreds of evidence that confirms the deployment of terrorist groups, mercenaries who are fighting Defense Army of Artsakh and are seriously threatening the existence of Armenians. Moreover, the same evidence discloses the key role of Turkey in this matter. Aggressive military air and artillery shelling against the peaceful population of Artsakh, launched by Azerbaijan on September 27, is accompanied with massive state-supported hate speech towards ethnic Armenians. All these factors clearly demonstrate the policy by Azerbaijan and Turkey of ethnic cleansing and terror-inspiring myths against the Armenian civilian population. It is obvious that the international community, especially human rights organizations, do not react to the violence in Artsakh committed by the Azerbaijani armed forces. They seem to be blind.
During the first days of the war, we started a campaign called Don't Be Blind, which is directed to the international community, showing what's happening here, what kind of crimes, what kind of deprivations are occurring in the Republic of Artsakh, and calling them stop talking, start acting, and not to be blind. The meaning of our campaign was to urge them to act immediately, to act directly and addressably.
Many people, both in Artsakh and Armenia and internationally, have joined this campaign. Current and former human rights defenders of Armenian Artsakh, Arman Tatoyan, Larissa Alaverdian, and Ruben Melikian, called upon the international community not to be blind towards all the violations of human rights in Artsakh.
Don't be blind.
Don't be blind.
Don't be blind.
Наконец, начните действовать.
I would say that the reaction by the international community and international human rights community is not sufficient. International human rights community either turns a blind eye to the reality and to the crimes happening here, or works very slowly in terms of recording the crimes on the ground and in terms of reacting beyond statements and beyond talks.
The atrocities unleashed by Azerbaijan in Artsakh, the violations of the rights of Armenians, continue. It is time to react unless it is too late.